Over his career, Gaurav Tiwari investigated more than 6,000 cases of the paranormal. He built his entire life around finding logical answers to terrifying questions, right up until his own mysterious end. Tiwari did not operate like a traditional exorcist. He founded the Indian Paranormal Society to apply scientific methodology and skepticism to supernatural claims. This logic flowchart maps out his exact screening process. Every time a haunting was reported, the case filtered down into a rigorous psychological evaluation, checking subjects for conditions like schizophrenia or dissociative identity disorder. He required his team to eliminate all medical and psychological explanations before they could even consider activating that last remaining node, a true paranormal event. Because his reputation was built on debunking the supernatural with science, the events recorded on his final investigation are difficult to categorize. But his methodology included an unusual final step. To reassure the families he visited, Tiwari would perform a closing ritual where he verbally commanded any present negative entities to attach to him instead of the inhabitants. By July 2016, the cumulative weight of his work was starting to show. He was suffering from extreme physical exhaustion and symptoms of clinical depression. He told his team that he felt a negative energy living inside him, waiting for him to finally give up. It was at this moment, when his psychological defenses were at their lowest, that a call came in from a flat in the Janakpuri neighborhood of Delhi. After 6,000 cases, Tiwari was no longer just an observer. The trauma of the families he helped had become a permanent fixture in his own daily life. The team arrived at the apartment complex to find neighbors fleeing the building, driven out by the violent screams of the young woman inside. Yet the second Tiwari entered her room, the screaming stopped. A heavy silence fell over the entire apartment. She looked up from the dark shadows, immediately recognized him, and smiled. She calmly stated, "You have arrived." Her father was shocked. For months, his daughter had acted with nothing but blind rage. She hadn't been calm, let alone smiled, in weeks. This behavior didn't fit Tiwari's standard profile for psychological anomalies. He was dealing with a case that defied his previous 6,000 investigations. Then the technical equipment began to fail. As they approached the subject, the EMF meters produced erratic readings that seemed to fluctuate without a clear source. Simultaneously, multiple cameras placed throughout the house began flashing independently, with no obvious cause. Through the technical chaos, the subject delivered a specific threat. She told Tiwari that every evil in the house knew who he was, and that today he would take another one with him. Tiwari had a physical reaction his team had never witnessed. He recorded sensing a presence directly behind him and remained completely still, seemingly unable to move. Outside the room, his team saw a distinct dark shadow on one of the camera monitors and immediately rushed through the door. They found Tiwari frozen. For the first time in his career, he appeared unable to follow his own investigative procedures. Despite his visible fear and the breakdown of the technical equipment, Tiwari ended the night the way he always did. He performed his closing ritual, inviting whatever was in that room to follow him out. He returned home at 1:30 in the morning. His wife noticed he was uncharacteristically quiet and had stopped responding to her calls entirely. Before going to bed, he told her that dark forces were laughing at him and that they were waiting for his death. The next morning, July 7, 2016, his family heard a sudden crash. They ran to the bathroom, found the door locked from the inside, and broke it down. Inside, they found Gaurav Tiwari dead. He had been strangled by a dupatta tied to a rod. This discovery led to two conflicting explanations. While the official police report focused on the physical evidence in the room, his family pointed to the events of the preceding weeks. We can weigh the evidence of this case on a scale like this. On one side, we have the police ruling of suicide. On the other, the family's belief in a literal paranormal attack. The psychological hypothesis suggests that the mental burden of 6,000 troubled families finally led to a total collapse of his mental health. The paranormal hypothesis suggests that his ritual worked one too many times, bringing a lethal entity into his home. Whether the forces he faced were psychological or supernatural, The final case of Gaurav Tiwari remains a study in the physical cost of investigating the unexplained.